Welcome to the Car Guys, and here we are once again at the Octane Collection, a car dealership that we love to visit, mainly because of things just like this.
This is one of our most favouriteest places to ever come. Every time we come here, it seems to just step up a notch. I mean, we've had here before a brace of Carrera GTs, and now we have an F50, and you wait until you see some of the other things that are tucked away in this amazing car cave.
Sweet cars indeed. So without further ado, let's get out amongst it. Let's do this. So here we are then, the Ferrari F50, and you see this car the moment you walk through the door here at the Octane Collection, which I heartily approve of.
Just as a statement through the entranceway, to have an F50, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about where these guys are going and the type of vehicles that they're acquiring.
This car here, it's a 25,000 kilometre example. You can see it's in perfect condition. The weave through the paint, the carbon weave on it is exquisite, particularly here on this rear portion. I mean, it's all over the place, frankly. Remember, this is the F50, so this is the car that was always about £100,000 less than an F40, let's say 10 years ago, but then everyone suddenly realised that they only made 350 of them, and their values skyrocketed. Cars like this now are going for £3 million plus, and for very low mileage examples, 5 million. 5 million quid, Jason.
Frankly ridiculous, in my personal opinion. I've never really fallen in love with the F50. I thought the shape was always a bit bloaty and a bit awkward. After the F40, which is, in my humble opinion, a perfectly proportioned car, if only we had one in the collection. So I've never really appreciated it. However, from a technical standpoint, the fact that it's a Formula One engine, detuned, mounted directly to the tub as a la a Formula One car, that is what makes this car special.
Apparently it's supposed to be far nicer to drive than the F40, a lot more fizzy, a lot more exhilarating, and obviously you've got this roof-off performance and rooftop experience.
Yeah, the spider component of this does make it a lot different and probably more special. I still would rather have an F40 over one of these. It was unloved. People didn't want them, but people didn't want F40s either. We have to remember that. You know, well, back in the day, F40s were really, for what they were, dirt bloody cheap.
And now, though, F40s, with them pushing 2 million quid.
Yeah. These pushing £5 million.
For the very best examples, but there are a third of the number of these than F40s. In fact,
allegedly.
So that's where the rarity comes in. Interesting little fact.
Oh, I like a fact.
I actually own an F50 gear knob.
Do you?
Yep, got one of those.
Nice.
How about that? So that's as much of an F50 as I own, or possibly am ever likely to own, unless I literally sell the entire collection. Now, as you said, Jason, in the introduction to this episode, one of the things that's very apparent coming to the Octane Collection is how much the game has very much been upped, because the quality and the significance of the cars that we've got here today is greater than perhaps I've ever seen it.
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff here, this is incredible. Now, this obviously is the F12 TDF, a car that I did used to own. And this one's a particularly nice tailor-made example. This shape of this, I think, is truly exciting. It's always been a much better looker than the 599 GTO.
Yep.
And values did start to creep up after I sold mine, naturally.
Naturally. It's such a great car as well. To drive it is one of the most exciting automotive experiences you will ever have in your life. Not only because you feel like you're going to die every time you turn the steering wheel or put your foot on the accelerator, just because it is such a complete car. It's such a complete race car. The way the thing moves and belies its size because of, you know, the active rear steer and that massive V12 engine, it is truly one of the greats. It's definitely up there for me as one of the greatest cars that a Ferrari have ever produced, that I've been so fortunate to drive. And this one is resplendent in the 2007 F1 colour, made specifically so that it showed up more red on television, a bit like snooker balls.
Exactly right, exactly right. just like that 812 GTS that I tested not that long ago. It's a very nice colour, this one. It's a historic colour. There's nothing like being able to say, I've got a Ferrari that's the same colour as the F1 cars
Hang on
of
a
the
minute.
period.
Can I just pull you up a little bit, in fact, there? You called it a historic colour. It was only 2007, which was literally last week.
Yeah, I know, but for the Gen Zs that are watching, if there are any, that's like, you know, that might as well be the Stone Age. One thing to highlight on these TDFs, a lot of people do say that they are unruly and almost impossible to drive. That's not been my experience, I have to say. I did about 5,000 or 6,000 miles in mine, drove it all the way down to Italy. However, one thing you might want to pay attention to is this front portion here, which begins here, goes all the way around and all the way up to here. Now, that's a very large piece of carbon fibre. You've got all this sculpting and moulding here as well. And if you ding one of these, it's going to cost you at least £30,000. So don't do that. Right, so Jason, what we have here is a rare soft window Porsche 911 Targa. This is a very pretty car. Look at the colour, look at the quality of this thing. This is like one of those special cars that was used a lot for promotion in Europe at the time when they launched this car.
Wow.
And do you know who I think should probably pop this in his garage right now?
Who do you think?
Only Paul Zuckerman. I reckon the Zuckmeister should have one of these.
I think you're probably right. This seems to be right up his street, and the steering wheel is on the correct side of the car for him too. Now, what trip to the Octane Collection would not be complete without coming to lust after probably one of my favourite cars they've ever had and still have, and could be yours for a mere £239,000, is this beautiful chocolate brown MFI. This is my ideal Porsche. It's perfect in every way. It's old enough to make it fun and interesting and a car that you want to cherish and love for the rest of your life. And it's still here, and it still talks to me, and it's still calling my name.
Jason, I need to show you this car.
Now, this looks to me like a very special Porsche. Now, it obviously floats my boat because it has racing livery on it, so therefore I'm instantly interested. Tell me more, why do I want to buy this car?
You want to buy this car because it is an actual IROC 911. So we're talking the International Race of Champions, the Porsche Racing Series. This was one of those cars that was actually raced in period. It's an authentic, all authentic car, and it actually won 2 of the races.
Amazing.
None of the others have done that. Just look at it now.
So this is the fastest one. It's the best set up one.
The difference between this one and any of the others that exist is that you can actually buy this one
Yeah, good
right
point.
now.
Am I allowed to touch it though? Because you know there are rules and oh, you've already touched it. So yeah, basically, yeah.
You can literally look. You can look. There we. I'm touching history. This is history.
This is history.
So particular features that I am just loving, these bucket seats, these racing bucket seats, I mean, they literally look like a bathtub. Someone has cut a bathtub in half and shoved it in.
I love the fact it's black, so it's the meanest of all of them. This beautiful wing, the curves, but just look. I mean, the thing that you need to do most of all is check out the stance of this thing. Look at the size of the rear tyres.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It is frankly ridiculous.
This blue one here is kind of a recreation, but this, my friends,
this is the
is
real
the real deal.
This is the real deal, right?
Yeah.
So this is our new track day car? Is that what we're saying?
Steady on.
Eh?
I mean, it's a
beast of a thing.
It's a beast of a thing and quite expensive, but I mean, for those that want the absolute best,
Here it is.
Here you go.
Now, this really is something special. This, as you all know, I don't even need to introduce it really. This is an Aston Martin Valkyrie. Now, I am absolutely shocked, ladies and gentlemen, shocked, I tell you, that there's actually a customer car that has been delivered. Can you imagine? I never thought we would see the day when this thing was actually on the road. The last one of these I saw was at Goodwood Festival of Speed, and it still had a load of duct tape on the inside, plus cables, plus everything else to try and make the bloody thing run. But no, here we have a perfect example of an Aston Martin Valkyrie. Damian, what's your first impressions?
Well, it's obviously from another world. That's the first thing you say about this. I mean, it's a unique Adrian Newey shape. It is crazy bonkers in the flesh. Everything is exposed. You can see all the airflow. You can see exactly how the aerodynamics is being treated. You can see all the technology. Everything is on display. You've got enormous carbon trays here at the bottom to aid the flow through the car. But of course, those things will also tear off anybody's ankles who are standing next to it, and no doubt clip every single curb in the world.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not a daily, okay? I think we can pretty much say that this is the type of vehicle that if you are wealthy enough to be on Aston Martin's special list, that really it's there just to show the other people that you know the size of your appendage. I don't think there's any relation whatsoever for this car for someone who likes driving on the road.
Well, you say that. However, if you are Mr. Jet Collector on Instagram, go and check him out. He does daily his Valkyrie.
Does he?
Yep, he's a keen driver. He's got some lovely cars, and this is what he's driving right now. So for all those people that say you can't drive them, you can't take them out, he is proving
otherwise.
Wrong. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure if we could beg him, he may well let us have a go in his, because he is a very nice gentleman.
Round of applause for that man. My tiny little brain cannot even comprehend the cost if you accidentally curbed one of these wheels. Right?
Yeah, it is a problem.
I cannot imagine and obviously quite a few other people can't imagine, which is the reason why we have one sitting here right now.
What you'll notice is that I seem to have naturally gone into a kneeling, praying position next to this car, because that's what it does to you. It actually makes you drop to your knees to check out all of the fine details. This is an extraordinary engineering project. It's been beset with problems during its development. People said at one point there was no way they could ever get it to work. But finally, the customer cars have been delivered. And to see one here today, for sale right now, it's just astonishing.
Oh, I'm completely, honestly, I am overwhelmed by the fact that I'm able to stand this close to one and have a really good poke around. It's just...
I'm touching the centre lock
of a
Valkyrie. I'm literally touching it right now. I could lick it. If I wanted to, I could lick it. Wait, I'm not going to.
From our generation, the only thing that even comes close to this is the McLaren F1. Exactly. And now those cars are what, 25 mil plus? Exactly. If you want a decent one.
And they were 600 grand new.
Yeah. So what I have in my grubby mitts is the steering wheel from said Valkyrie. Now, because I'm very, very old, my eyesight isn't good enough to actually read what these buttons say, so we need to help. But you can see, look at that. And it literally get you in the car, clip that on, and then suddenly you can be just like Alonso. Just listen to this. Oh, the engineering involved in that click. Oh my days. Oh.
So Jason, tell us exactly how it looks like you're going to get into this car.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, with difficulty. It very much reminds me of a letterbox, the size of the opening you have. I'm not a particularly large gentleman, and even I'm struggling to kind of work out what bit of my body I put in first in order to find myself in the seated position, which is the same as a Formula One car, i.e. your ankles are higher than your bottom.
For me, it's the size of the entrance. It just doesn't look big enough for an adult male to get inside.
No.
But I mean, look at it. Look at the details. Carbon fibre. Look at this inlet here.
Oh, I can only imagine that the experience once you're in it and it's running is something else. I'm slightly concerned that doesn't appear to be any electric windows though. And I think Adrian, hello. Hi. Oh, hi. I think Adrian's missed a trick. There doesn't appear to be cup holders.
Really?
Yeah. I mean...
That's a deal breaker straight away.
That's it. It's over, sadly.
Many of these, sadly, will end up just sitting in private collections, never being driven at all. I can only imagine what it would be like having a track day with one of these. Amazingly, incredibly, this Valkyrie is right here, and if you've got enough money, you can take it away with you today.
Yes, you can.
Bonkers.
Okay, so again, another part that's ubiquitous with the Octane Collection is they always have at least one 911 GT3 RS 4 litre.
Always at least one.
At least one.
If not 2 or 3.
Now, when I walked through the door earlier and I went, oh, you've still got those RSs? And they went, oh no, au contraire, they said.
It's all new RSs.
It's actually new ones. So although the last time I was here, they had a black, a white and a grey one, actually, these are all completely different cars.
Now remember, Porsche purists, we like to listen to Porsche purists sometimes, rate this as one of the greatest 911s of all time. It's classic old Metzger engine 911s. It's one of the ones that gives you the best steering feel. It's the best engine, the best clattery engine sound and performance. It's the 4 litre, so it's been bored out. They only made 600, or just over 600 of them, and it is meant to be one of the best that you can buy. And also, I get the sense, even though these cars are high threes, early £400,000, many people do say that they are undervalued, and there's a very
still a bargain.
Well, there's a very good reason for that. It's because in America, once cars get more than 25 years old, they become eligible to be imported into America, and therefore generally that means the Americans, you guys, and there's a large percentage of you who watch this channel, you can finally get your hands on one of these.
So here's what I'm going to suggest to our lovely American cousins is I would get in now, right? Come over here with your oodles and oodles of dollars and purchase...
With your drill bit money.
With your drill bit money. Come here and purchase yourself one of these, and these guys will happily store it for you for a very small and very reasonable charge for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Or you could take it to the Nürburgring. You could leave it there.
You could.
Now, we've got 3 here right now. You've got the white one here, which is a very low mileage example. You've got this middle one here, which is in PTS, Meteor Grey, one of only 3 in the world. And then you've got this black one, which actually I think looks the meanest out of the 3. But
yeah. More Porsche, Damian. This car kind of intrigues me a little bit. This is a 996 GT2.
The Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker, right? So this car had a reputation of basically, if you drove it, you were instantly going to perish. And yet this one seems to be in fairly decent condition.
It does, doesn't it? It doesn't seem to have been smashed up at all.
No, not rolled or rallied or anything. So maybe the reputation isn't as bad as everyone says.
I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the 996 GT3 because I had a couple of them, but this one, I really do like it. They are very good value for money. You've got this enormous, very distinctive carbon wing at the back, helps you to distinguish the GT2. This is the Gen 2 of this model, and it's pretty rare actually because there's only 16 UK cars. So this car is actually quite an attractive buy. You'll also notice you've got carbon fibre slaps at the front as well.
I can only imagine the fear in your eyes once the turbochargers light up on a slightly damp road. It would be absolutely brilliant.
That, my friends, is living. Here we are then. This is a 992 GT3 Touring, and you may recognise it because there's flipping thousands of them. Honestly, Porsche took the quite limited in number 991.2 GT3 Touring, and for the 992 generation, they decided to max it up. They supersized it, and they've made a huge number. There are an awful lot for sale, but when you stand in front of them, they're still actually quite impressive.
Oh yeah, it's a totally impressive car. I mean, the stance of it's absolutely perfect. The size of the rear arches, you know, they are getting so enormous, the wheels on them now, that they're almost up to the middle of the glass. I think it's a lovely looking car. I like the little nose nostrils at the front. I think that's a really good feature. I'm not 100% convinced though that you're not going to lose that lovely Porsche bouncy bit because this car, being the new car, has got the twin wishbone front suspension. So they've completely changed the geometry of the front end to make it work a little bit better, you know, after, I don't know, only 99 years of producing the other front end.
And we know that with the GT3, the standard GT3, that makes the turn-in electric. It makes it an incredibly fizzy, exciting car that feels like it can take any corner at any speed. But when you've got a Touring, you don't really want everything to be that fizzy. You don't want it to be as stiff as these cars are. You want it to be a little bit more tuned for the road. And I think that's the big, at the moment, Achilles heel of the 992 Touring. It's just too damn stiff. To be honest, it is lovely in here.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's really tastefully spec'd, this one.
The person who spec'd this really knows what they're doing. This is a lovely, lovely, lovely car. I wouldn't have gone for carbon wing mirrors.
Oh, come on,
I
everyone
would have
loves
gone
that.
for paint.
But it
body
matches
colour.
the roof. Look at the roof, carbon roof.
No.
Carbon roof, carbon wing mirrors.
No.
I think you really do appreciate how big these cars are getting though.
It's enormous.
I mean, it's sat next to this, which is a 991.2 GT3.
And it's even bigger than that.
And it's even bigger. One of my particular favourite cars is this. This is the Lancia Delta Integrale Final Edition. It is the ultimate of all the gazillion special editions that they did for the Lancia Delta Integrale. It's in this lovely blood red colour with this beautiful decal on the front, the yellow and blue, which is, of course, a sticker. But this is the ultimate evolution. It's the final one. I've always liked, and we've always liked, the Delta Integrale.
We drove this not this particular car, but we drove the final edition. Go back and have a look at our back catalogue, and we absolutely loved it. It was an amazing experience. It's such a, it does live up to the hype. You know, don't drive your heroes, but absolutely drive this thing because they are super.
And this kind of also exemplifies what's going on here at Octane Collection and Fast Classics, is that we're talking about very exquisite examples of only the best cars. It's really fantastic to see something like this sat amongst all this modern metal, and then you've got this, which connoisseurs, people in the know how special this is. And when you actually get to see it up close, it just reminds you how cool and special these 80s, 90s cars really are.
This car is sitting in the same place as a Valkyrie, and yet it completely holds its own. You know, it's not shrinking violet, it stands out here proud because it is a proper classic.
And many of you out there, many of you viewers of this channel, we know, would probably have one of these over a Valkyrie.
Yes, well, of course you would, yes.
Because that's how special you are.
Yes. Needs.
The only downside of something like this is that when we first drove the car, it was £80,000, which at the time we thought, and it was, a lot. But now they're touching £200,000.
Yes.
Ouch.
Yes.
But if you want the best, it's here for you. If ever there was a late break show car here at the Octane Collection, this Rover P6 is most certainly it, because it is brown.
It is properly brown.
Classic 70s colour. It used to have a 3-litre V8, but now it's a 4-litre V8. The interior's been retrimmed, but it's still got all of those period details that you absolutely love from this monster of ironmongery.
You could actually say this is a resto mod. It's a very delicate, light touch resto mod. But you know that, I mean, just look at the thing. The door shuts. Look at the inside of those doors. I mean, they've never seen a speck of water in their entire lives. Oh.
Do you like the way that the sunroof pops when you close it?
Yeah,
like they all should.
Watch closely. Oh.
Lovely.
And you know that's because it is airtight.
This is one of those cars that you see tearing around in 70s cop shows.
I love this car, and this just goes to show that Octane Collection, incorporating Fast Classics
And Millennium Heroes.
and Millennium Heroes, are absolute car guys, 100% before anything else, because of this. I mean, just look at it. Amazing. Okay, now, I think we all realise that this is probably my favourite car in the entire place. You can keep your F50s, stick them up your pokey whatsits. You can keep your Valkyries. I'm not interested in none of that nonsense. Sorry, Adrian, but no. This really is where it's at, isn't it? I mean, what about this car can you not like? For starters, it's got external things for electricity, right? It's got a potential number on the bonnet. It's got bucket seats, stripped out interior. This is essentially a racing car, and we know how much I love the racing car. I mean, look, it's even got things here to hold the windscreen on for no apparent reason whatsoever. Damian, of course, will hate it because it's a racing car. So let's bring Damian in here for a minute.
But that's where you're wrong, because I absolutely love it. Look at it.
How cool is it?
Look at the stance. It's a classic shape. It's so Italian. It literally hurts. Beautiful yellow bodywork. I love the green. I love the fact that you've got Lexan plexiglass windows here, sliding ones. The interior is completely stripped out. Are you experiencing sexual ecstasy right now?
Yes, I am. I am getting fizziness in various different parts of my body.
In your winky?
Indeed, I am.
It's got a beautiful Alfaholics engine in it. It's just, this gives me so much more of the tingles than many, many modern cars. This is why we love cars like this. This is why it's going to be very, very difficult to walk out of here without it.
Yeah, that's going to be a major problem, because it absolutely ticks every single one of our boxes.
Imagine the noise, imagine how well it rides, imagine that raw experience. Imagine just taking this out for a drive on a Sunday.
It makes me, want to sell various parts of my body to buy it right now. So if you're in the market for a kidney, I mean, I've got two, I only need one, right?
Exactly.
Give me call me.
And also, just imagine what would happen if we got this and then we drove it up to Yorkshire and we parked it next to the Talbot.
Oh my God.
And then we went on some shenanigans around Yorkshire roads and maybe up into Scotland. Can you even imagine what that would be like?
I don't think we could film it, because I think it would be classed by all filmmakers as pornography, and therefore we wouldn't be allowed to show it to you.
You can have your £1 million cars, but proper car guys love things like this. This is probably one of the best value cars here today, and yet it's certainly one of the most desirable. When I see one of these Corvette Stingrays, particularly this C3, I think of only one thing: NASA astronauts. Because this is the car that the Right Stuff guys were driving during those Apollo missions. And today, just look at the stance, look at the shape, look at just the sheer muscleness of it.
I mean, this car is so manly, I think I've grown an entirely new testicle just by standing next to it.
Yes, I agree. I feel my chest hair growing just by standing next to it. And also this electric blue car is a super, super rare factory manual gearbox. I didn't even know that was a thing.
No, me neither. The fact that this car has a proper actual gearbox in it is shocking.
It's got a tobacco leather interior. It's got all those 70s instruments that you want.
It says Corvette in more than one place in the dashboard, just in case you'd forgotten what you were driving.
And it's clothed in one of the prettiest 70s bodies that has ever been made. And obviously pop-up headlights as well.
All you would need in your garage, if you were into Americana, you have one of these sitting next to a Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am. I mean, you would be done, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Done. And I bet this thing sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we haven't got the keys.
Let us know in the comments if you would like us to rag this around the lanes. So there you go, viewers. That concludes our look around the exciting cars here at the Octane Collection. Jason, how's it been for you?
Well, frankly, I am absolutely exhausted, and my wallet is at least £50,000 lighter than it was when I walked through the doors no less than 2 hours ago. So yes, it's been an amazing experience, as it always is.
It's really exciting to see the fact that this company has started to up the game when lots of other dealers are facing pressures, going out of business, reducing stocks down, finding it very tough. It's really heartening to see that Lucas and the team here are shooting forward and trying to really push this dealership to new heights. We've got cars in here that I never thought I would see under this roof. You can sense the excitement. It's really fantastic to see it happen right in front of our eyes, because we have been coming here for, what, the last 6-7 years?
Yeah, we've been coming here for a very, very long time, and you can definitely see that they're trying to move the game on, and I think these guys have got exactly what it takes to do that. They are essentially car guys, and they are interested in cars, they're interested in driving cars, and they are excited and they want to talk to you about them. Even if they don't care whether you're buying or selling or whatever, these guys are 100% our type of people.
And do you think with all the kind words we've just said about them, that means they're going to
give us a massive discount on the Alfa?
Yeah, do you think that's going to happen?
Yes, yes, I think it will. I think it will.
So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you very much for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe, ding the notification bell for when we have another film uploaded. Find us on Instagram, and don't forget the merch.
And there'll be another episode of The Car Guys next week.
Ciao.